Coming to you today from Texas, sitting here on the downside end of COVID-19. My husband and I have been in that valley, but we are coming out. I'm so glad that things come and things go. Most things don't come to stay. One thing I want to just take a minute here to address, I've had a lot of time thinking, and I started one video on the God factor, which probably will be maybe one of, or a couple of several. I want to go in that a little bit more. I remember one time I was cooking supper in the kitchen, sitting there on the stove, and the phone rang, and I just reached over and picked it up, kept stirring the pot, and when I answered it, there was somebody on the other end screaming in desperation, and I looked at the caller ID, and I saw it was a friend, somebody who went to church with us, and she was screaming and crying, and she said, they just found my brother. They just found my brother hanging. And the next words out of her was, is my brother in hell? Tell me, is my brother in hell? Well, before I could answer that, before I could even get my wits together to even realize what was going on, words came out of my mouth. Words I'd never heard before or since. I said, whoa, listen. Just because your brother lost hope did not mean your brother lost faith. It shocked me. It shocked her. She's like, okay. I mean, we both knew that was supernatural. It was a supernatural truth. And I have stood on that for many years after. Not because it's just some saying, but because it's a truth. There's two different words there that sometimes we get confused. People can still have faith in God and believe in God and love God and at the same time lose hope. Hope is expecting good to come. They may believe God does all this stuff for other people or he's done it before, but they just lose the vision that they can do it now. They lose not faith in God, but somehow faith in themselves. Or faith in the fact that this thing can turn around. Because in the moment, in the darkness, in that desperate place where they're not thinking right, they are not sane. Even if they're sober, their mind is got adrenaline, whatever's going on in it that clicks somebody off into that insane moment that's causing them to think that suicide is the only option. That's not about faith. That's about hope. That's about expecting good to come. They're two different things. And I'm not going to here to have some kind of theological debate. But let me tell you one thing I believe about my God. I believe that he loves his creation. I believe that the word Father is an appropriate word. I think that humans are his crowning jewel. And even though he made us in his image and gives us a self-will, he gives us a will. I also know without my faith is he would never leave his children in their darkest hours. That's not the kind of father he is. He may be sitting there screaming, don't do that. And they may not even be able to hear him because the voices in their head, the despair in their mind, the darkness of depression or situations that's flooding their minds blocks out that voice. But I believe it's a voice of love. And it is a voice of hope even if we can't see it. You cannot wait till you get there. You have to make these choices now. You had to make some decisions. You had to make some decisions about who you are and what's going to happen in your end before you get to those points. Because I promise you this. God does not leave you. He does not forsake you, or he's a big fat liar. And I don't think he is. Just because you lose hope in the situation around you does not mean you've lost your faith in your God. Hang on to that.